makes me the 7th. Lucky me. You know, one of the hardest things for me as a comedian is when people come up to me and ask, Palan, why did you become a comedian at your age? Because that's the only age I have, genius. Then they change their tune and say, no. What I meant was, how long did it take you to become a comedian? And how did you become a comedian? I will tell you how long it took me. It took me 40 years, yes, 40 years. And as for the how, 40 years ago I came to this country, I was very young, and I got very confused. Wouldn't you get confused if you walked into Boots to buy a pair of shoes? And went into Curry's for lunch? I remember leaving Curry's with a bad taste in my mouth. Things got better when I started working in an office. Then the boss calls me into his office one day and says, young man, yeah, those were the days. Young man, this is Jim. He's just joined us. Can you show him the ropes? Not realizing that Jim was a manic depressive. I learned something that day. Never give a manic depressive enough rope on the day of the office Christmas party. It was tough, and I got even more confused. So I got married. And I took my wife on honeymoon. Well, who else would I take? Yeah. It was a special deal, you know. I booked it through a TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor. Turns out he's a drug dealer. But we had a lot of fun in our marriage. You know, we did a lot of fun things. We go for walks. I walk a few paces in front and she follows. Then she caught up with me. So we had kids. And I noticed something about my children. They are not listening to me, their father. So I grabbed one of them and said, you big mouth, you listen to me, get it? Listen. She squares up to me, all 2 feet of her. And she says, why should I listen to you, huh? Your wife doesn't. You talk. Then I find that I can't even smack my own kid in my own house because her mother's looking. So I took her to the next room and I said, you're right, darling. She doesn't listen to me. She's so stubborn, you know. She's got a mind of what? Dad, why are you complaining? You're the one who married her. With kids like that, who needs Al-Qaeda, huh? Yeah, but they mean well, really. And I love them. Before I knew it, they're all grown up. And my daughter, oh, she's so tall and she's so beautiful. And I am looking at her and I am thinking, it is time. I wanted to give my daughter the best arranged marriage that money can buy. But she's talking about love. Love? Listen, child. This love marriage is an oxymoron. Love ends when marriage begins. Trust me, I should know. But in an arranged marriage, you get married, you start living together, you get to know each other so well that you wouldn't want to be apart ever. And she agreed with me. She said, yes, I know that, Dad, I know. It's called the Stockholm Syndrome. Oh, I don't care if it's the Stockholm Syndrome or the China Syndrome. I am your father. I know what's best for you. You will have an arranged marriage and one day you will thank me for it. So she did. Yeah, she did. She had an arranged marriage. She arranged it. That was the last straw. The straw that removed the camel's hump. So I did what any red-blooded male chauvinistic father would do. I glared at her mother and said, it's all your fault. And she started laughing. She said, you are so funny. That's when I became a comedian. I've been Palan and you've been wonderful. Thank you, thank you.
Well done, Palan.
Praise